Hey everyone, it's Ryan again. So, it's mostly common knowledge that the Bible is mostly, well, you know, male dominated. Now I actually did some research into this.
Go on.
Now if we're talking about people with distinct names in the Bible, out of roughly 1,700 named people, only about 137 of them are women.
What?
So yeah, there aren't as many, but that's why we're focusing on one of the ladies today.
Now that's what I'm talking about.
But instead of me just picking one, I'm going to try something new and ask the artificial intelligence to pick one for us.
Hello, what would you like to ask me?
So AI, name an inspirational woman from the Bible that young girls can admire.
Sure. How about Delilah?
No. Suggest another.
How about Hosea's wife?
Anyone else?
Lot's wife?
No.
Lot's daughters?
Okay, how about any women of power? Princesses, queens, anyone?
Yes, Queen Jezebel, Princess Herodias, Potiphar's wife. And don't forget the woman on the beast dressed in purple and scarlet.
Alright, today we're just going to talk about Queen Esther. Alright, so we start off with the King of Persia, King Xerxes, or King Ahasuerus, if you want to call him that. Now, to give you an idea of how big this guy's ego was, to celebrate his 3rd year of his reign, he held an elaborate banquet for all the powerful officials and nobles in Persia. Now, this wouldn't be so bad until you find out how long this celebration lasted. So, how long did it last? And when the feasting was finally over, what did he do next? So anyway, on the last day, he's very drunk and he demands his wife, Queen Vashti, to appear before everyone to show off her beauty.
The king requires my lady's presence.
For what purpose?
He makes display of his most treasured objects.
Am I such an object?
That's right. Tell him, Queen.
It does not befit a lady, much less a queen, to be displayed before a man quite drunk. After too many days of feasting. Say to the king that I refuse.
So yeah, Queen Vashti refuses, making the king very angry. So what did he do? He kicked her out, that's what he did. Well, at least you stood up for yourself. Okay, so now that Vashti was gone, the king needed a new queen. So his attendants proposed that a search be made to all the ladies in the land and have them present themselves before him. And the one that he likes the most will be made queen. The king agreed, so a search for a new queen took place.
Search every house in the town!
Whoa, wait, you don't have to be so rough, guys. But yeah, anyway, this is where we meet Mordecai, who was a Jew, and had a cousin whom he raised called Esther, or Hadassah, if you want to call her by a Jewish name. But yeah, Esther was also one of the ladies selected to come before the king. They had no choice in the matter, so Mordecai just advised Esther to not reveal her identity as a Jew. Don't worry, I'll make sure she's safe. I got this. Okay, so for all the ladies that were selected, they had to undergo a whole training arc on how to be a good queen. They had to get pampered up and they were all taught what they couldn't do as a queen.
It is forbidden to rise without the king's permission. It is forbidden to dress carelessly. And it is forbidden to scratch yourself. Forget whatever you have done up until now.
Yeah, well, hopefully this process isn't too long and...
We only 2 weeks into this thing and I'm ready to give up!
Alright, so after a long time of preparation, it's finally Esther's turn to impress the king. Don't worry, E. You got this. Your king! She's here!
You picked a rose in the garden. Is it a gift for your king?
Forgive me for taking it.
You're courageous. You're not like the others.
So the king was really attracted to Esther and she won his approval more than any of the other ladies. So much so that... Wait, hold on. Wait a minute.
Don't let your kids watch it!
But yeah, she won his favor so much that the king made Esther to be his new queen.
Long life and happiness to Queen Esther.
But we can't celebrate just yet because while this was all happening, 2 of the king's royal guards were planning to assassinate the king.
Here is the poison. To slip into his drink.
What on earth is going on in the House of Commons?
However, Mordecai also worked at the king's gate, and he overheard the whole plan.
Dead giveaway. Dead giveaway.
Charles, thank you very much.
Dead giveaway.
So Mordecai informed Queen Esther, who then reported it to the king.
Guards! Hold these men prisoner pending an investigation!
You really thought, huh? Alright, so let's talk about Haman. So Haman has now got a promotion from the king. So he was given a status higher than any of the other nobles. So what did Haman do? He demanded that people bow before him. However, Mordecai refused to bow to him.
A Jew prostrates himself only before the Lord.
Haman hated the fact that Mordecai would not bow before him. Not only did he want him killed, but he found out that he was a Jew and wanted all the Jews to be killed too.
Destroy every man, woman, and child among them.
Wait, all of them?
All of them.
So Haman, he went to the king and convinced him that the Jews were a threat to him and that he should make a decree to have them all destroyed. So the king gave Haman all the power he needed to execute his plan. So it was decided on the 13th day of the 12th month that all the Jews would be killed. The news was sent out to all the people with the king's seal of approval.
Oh no, this can't be.
So Mordecai had to tell Esther about this and that she needs to go to the king and beg for her people to be spared. But the thing is though, not only going before the king uninvited is against the law, but it was punishable by death.
I bring a message to the great king.
Boy, don't you know no one comes unsummoned before the king? Execute him!
Innocent, my lord! I don't want to die!
Boy, is he strict.
So Esther tells Mordecai to tell all the Jews to pray and fast because she will go before the king.
If I perish, I perish.
So on the third day, Esther goes before the king, and when the king saw her, he was actually pleased to see her.
What is your request, beloved queen?
Alright, cool, so we're off the hook. Now this is the part where you tell the king what Haman's been doing, get that law revoked, and
Come today to the banquet I have prepared in my quarters.
Okay, fine. I guess the plan is to butter him up at the banquet, and then you're gonna tell the king what's up, and then you
Come again tomorrow to the banquet I shall prepare for you.
Really?
Oh man, you're just ruining it. Look at my lips, you're ruining it. Ruining.
We don't have time to keep delaying this. Because Haman can't wait to have Mordecai killed, he's trying to set up his execution tonight.
Wow, the pressure is getting worse.
Meanwhile, the king is having a hard time falling asleep, so he orders the chronicles of his reign to be read to him. It is during this time that he is reminded that Mordecai saved his life and he didn't do anything for him. So he asks Haman what he should do to a man that he wishes to honor.
Let royal robes be brought, and the king's horse, with a royal crown on its head.
Good. Thus shall be done for a man the king wishes to honor.
Yeah, Haman didn't know the king was talking about Mordecai.
Hey y'all, come look at this.
I thought he wished to honor me!
Anyway, so at Esther's second banquet, she finally tells the king that she's a Jew, and Haman has been planning to kill all of her people.
We have been sold to be destroyed, to be killed. Haman, through his enmity towards my kinsman, Mordecai.
And the king was so enraged by what Haman did, he had him executed.
A gallows 50 cubits high stands at Haman's house.
Hang him on that! Let's go!
That same day, Mordecai was given Haman's high position from the king. But the problem isn't quite solved just yet. You see, Esther and Mordecai found out that the king can't actually revoke a decree that he already issued. So to counter this, Esther and Mordecai got approval from the king to put out a new decree that will allow the Jews to defend themselves from any enemies who try to harm them on that day.
Never back down, never what?
Never give up.
Never back down, never what?
Never give up.
Let's go!
So yeah, that was the story of Esther. Now there's one thing here that you may not have noticed, and that's the fact that God is not mentioned in this story at all. In fact, on the surface, he seems to be very absent. But that's not the case, because now that you know the bigger picture, you can see how God was there from the very beginning. From the moment Esther became queen, it was all for a much bigger purpose. And that's a very important lesson, because when we're going through trials, it may appear that God is not there. But even if we don't know what God is doing, in the moment of our trials, know that God already knows the bigger picture and has already won the battle. When we're going through challenging times, we just need to have faith and trust in God and believe that he will see us through, just like Mordecai and Esther. But yeah, that's it from me. I hope you guys enjoyed the story. Thank you so much for watching, and God bless.